Hey folks, Deano here again. This time take a look at the second of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Remastered. This is Yellow, or Trini, as she's known in the show. And yeah, this one not as perfect as Billy, I'll be honest. There is a few issues, which for some strange reason no one seems to have picked up on. But yeah, maybe it's just my figure art's brain nitpicking. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the packaging. So, exact same as Billy, you've got a nice picture artwork on the side and a render of the figure on the front. Can you notice the issue yet? Because it translates over to the figure. And yep, some pictures on the back, and yet the issue has translated over to every single render, which is why they got it wrong in the factory. Even though another figure I have just purchased is correct compared to this one, and this one's meant to be the remastered one. But yeah, and you've got a picture of all the accessories on the back. So yeah, comes with a little less than Billy did. But then Billy does need both versions of his power lance. Trini doesn't. But yeah, in terms of accessories, she comes with all three of the blade blasters, which we have showed before. So you've got that one, which is the blade mode, decently painted. Silver is where it needs to be on the blade. You even get a little bit of silver for where it would say Power Rangers or Zyuranger, due to the actual prop. And yeah, the blaster mode is the same. Nice details, and you've got a hole there for effect pieces, which again this figure doesn't come with, but we will probably get some down the line. It comes with, I'll take one out of her hand, the power daggers, which, yep, it's, the coin is painted a nice gold colour, but it's that small you can't really make out any details. I don't even know if there's any there. And yet, tip and the blade is painted quite nicely. You've got silver on the bottom as well. And something that I've never realised before is that the edges of the power dagger actually point up the way. Wasn't aware of that. So you learn something new every day. Pop them back in. They are made of a soft rubbery plastic, but details are still there, so can't complain. Trini's head, which I can see the likeness. It's kind of like a discount likeness, right enough. But it is there. It gets the point across. The hair, though, I've no idea why. Is that paint? I'm not even sure. The hair's way too glossy anyway. I've no idea why they've done that. It's it doesn't even feel like paint, because the yellow is paint. But surely they just cast this in that colour plastic. I don't really get it. But other than that, it's well painted. It's kind of cartoony compared to Billy's, but it gets the point across. Apparently the female mould comes with different hands than the males. By that I mean not just different size, that would be obvious, but actual different type of hands. So in the package she comes with a karate chop hand, and a fist, whereas most of the male rangers just come with fists, which comes with the morpher hand, just a smaller for doing the morphing pose. Quite good. You can see right there, I can get it to focus. It's well painted, and there's a tampograph of the saber-toothed tiger and the tiny little morpher, which is very much appreciated. And finally, oh, she fell over. That's probably going to happen a lot, as you'll see in the articulation section. She comes with a pair of grippy hands, which thankfully the hinge is going from side to side, which means you get much more dynamic poses out of them than you otherwise would. So yeah, let's take the daggers out of her hand and have a look at her. Oh, then obviously she comes with holstered mode blade blaster, which I'm assuming all the remasters will, which is very much appreciated. Attention to detail. Now, her neck, that came off quite easy. Yeah, for some reason it's moved. Didn't realise it had moved. Let's get that in the correct position. There we go. Pops on and off easy enough. So yeah, in terms of paint details, this is where the first problem lies. Surely the eagle-eyed among you have noticed it by now. But yeah, the helmet's wrong. The actual sculpt for it is brilliant. Again, I think it actually beats out the figure arts, which I no longer have on hand. They're all boxed. But yeah, the actual sculpt is probably the closest anyone's ever got to the Yellow Ranger mold, and that's me being serious. But the mouth's off. And that's what I was alluding to in the renders on the box. Whoever rendered the figure forgot to include the silver on the sides and bottom of the mouth. So it looks much smaller than it should, because it's painted improperly. And if I bring in a spoiler for the next review, this is the Yellow Ranger from one of the Mighty Morphin 2-packs that I've purchased, and got it on sale. And yeah, you will notice the paint apps are better on the remastered, like the actual application of it, but the mouth's correct on this one. So why on earth did the people in the factory, or the designers, or whoever, not pick up on the fact that this figure was correct and this one wasn't? I don't really understand it. But yeah, pretty much, apart from the novelty of this 2-pack release, I also bought it to swap the heads. Because I'd rather have a slightly more sloppily painted head sculpt, but have the mouthpiece properly painted, as opposed to well painted but not enough of it. Because in my opinion, this sticks out more than this does. So yeah, not sure why. Like, I've watched a fair few reviews of Remastered Yellow before purchasing it, and for some reason not a single reviewer that I've watched anyway picked up on that. Yeah, a bit strange. But yeah, apart from that, the paint apps are actually really well done. Again, you've got the white diamond, the yellow diamonds. There's a bit of smudge on that boot. It's something I can live with. You've got the black lines on the belt and the holster, and a very nicely tampographed saber-toothed tiger on the morpher. Which, yeah, that's, for a £30 figure, I would say that's quite good detail, honestly. But yeah, articulation, this is again where the figure falls a bit short, unfortunately. The head can look up a little bit, can't really look down, like, at all, which I found a bit strange. But yeah, can go side to side, pivot. The arms, I believe these are the new style arms that they've started doing. That was another issue I had with the original figures, was the females had single pin elbows, and the arms themselves looked weirdly proportioned. But now they've completely sorted that. You've got double joint, which does a really good job. You've got that butterfly joint, which goes really far back on this figure, and quite a good bit forward as well. That's a bit tight. I can get it to go about 90. Swivel at the bicep. Put that back down. Does go all the way around. Double jointed at the elbow. Sort of hinge system at the wrist. This is a bit of a strange one. Now, you're supposed to be able to pop up the bicep area on these figures, and it gives them a bit more range. But I don't know about mine, but the two female figures I've got so far don't really do that, like, at all. They kind of move, but not a great deal. It does get really far back on the sort of waist hinge though. Decent forward. Pull down hips, which can kick up but that far. Not great. And double hinge at the knee. Boot swivel. And the patented toe articulation from Hasbro, which can pretty much get unhindered movement no matter which way you go. Just the last issue I have with this figure is the legs are a little bit floppy, which I hear is a bit of a coming and going issue with the Lightning Collection. These new so-called pinless joints that they like to use. Yeah, they're not amazing, let's be honest. I mean, they do a good job of hiding the joint, but is the trade-off really worth that? I mean, I don't mind these quote-unquote cheaper figures having pinholes in them. Like, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. But yeah, she can hold a pose well enough, don't get me wrong. If I put her in a quick one just now, just to show, yeah, it is a bit floppy, but once you get her down, she does hold the pose well enough, so it does the job. I just wish the quality control would be a bit more consistent. But yeah, guys, that'll do it for